Oh, yes. Good morning, good afternoon, Casa.
Good afternoon. Yes, in my place it's 3 p.m. already.
3 p.m.
I'm in Tenerife. I am in Tenerife today.
You're in the Canary Islands?
Exactly.
It's like wow. It's what's there? It's like what, about 2 million people there or something like that. It's an archipelago, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like I came here basically to see Teda. I will climb there on this Saturday.
It's a volcano.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a mountain. The highest point in Spain.
I think it's
the highest point in Spain, and it's on an island. So
right.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an island off of the Canaries. It's like a fully autonomous community or something like that. They're like 2 million people. I remember we used to read about that. It's like everybody's Spanish speaking. A lot of tourists there.
Sorry? Lots of tourists? No, not at all. And in fact, like I came here for some warmth. It seems like it's colder than in Valencia.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And Miguel, what have you been up to, Miguel? What's going on? I know we've been working on some things.
Preparing for today's show. That's what we've been doing. We're making sure that everything is up to date and bringing the right guests for our listeners and viewers, hopefully very soon now.
So let me introduce myself. Hey, I'm Bruce Harris from checksplay.com.
Hi, I'm Kasia Gołębiewska.
Hello, I'm Miguel Mora, and welcome to Cheques Play. Today, we're going to have a wonderful guest for you, our good friend, Henry Pisano. Henry is a 40-year plus veteran of the gaming industry from Atlantic City, Florida, and other places. So Henry's standing by to come in with us. Henry, are you there with us?
No, he's not. I don't know if he can hear us.
Not yet.
I gotta let him in, Miguel. No, I gotta.
You gotta let him in.
You guys ready for him?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Now let me straighten my tie. Hold on.
Set your tie ready. You're like Rodney Dangerfield. What a crowd! What a crowd! I tell you.
Here comes Henry. They always come in muted. I guess that's how this works, huh?
Yeah, Henry.
What's happening?
Okay.
Henry, welcome.
Welcome.
Henry Pisano, what's up, my man?
Hanky in there, you know.
You came dapper. You came highly dapper.
Casa, didn't I tell you?
Yeah. You kind of presented me to him.
Before I go to Henry, I'm gonna tell you, I've been in the island here for 4 years now, and I haven't worn a suit in so long. In fact, I'm wearing this, and if you look at me, you think I just got out of jail because I haven't had a new suit.
No, I'll be honest with you, Bruce. That's missing, man.
Huh?
The whole deal is missing. The suit, the tie, the whole casino look is missing.
It's not like it used to be though.
I'm in an island.
But so how was it before? I mean, like, what's the difference?
I don't care where you're at.
I don't know.
Oh, really? You're saying now in the casino is not the same?
Yeah, in the gaming business. Yeah, that's what Henry's saying.
Like no one wears, like I was like one of the last people with Bruce, of course, to wear a suit and tie, sport jacket and tie to go to work.
Yeah,
that's all. To me, it was all part of the respect for the business.
Well, Henry,
absolutely.
I got dressed up because you're like royalty, man. You're like royalty in the gaming business, man. No, Henry, stop it right there. Stop. I'm telling you. This is, in fact, we said, you know what? We did our first podcast last week with Steve Carroll, and he was amazing.
He is amazing.
And it was like in an hour's notice that we did it. So we had a little bit more time to plan, and we're getting better at that, step at a time. Mm-hmm. So we weren't ready to do a live stream, but you know what? Casa at 12 or 4 o'clock this morning, she was in Canary Islands doing her thing. By the way, this is Casa Gołębiewska here.
That's a nice pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
She's our co-host. She's in the Canary Islands right now.
Right now, well, basically, I live in Valencia in Spain, but I just came here for a couple of days. Okay. I travel pretty much, and like I saw, on your profile that you already own, your travel agency, and I was curious. Oh my God! So you must visited so many countries. Did you ever count it? Like how many countries did you visit? And cities, because this is another thing.
I mean, I'm basically, in the past couple of years, I haven't visited too many countries at all. I was born in Naples, Italy, so I've been all over Europe. As far as Switzerland, France, Italy, of course. And a lot of other like Turks and Caicos Islands, where I ran the casino down there, and Mexico, and but my niche is Italy, man. My niche is also
your niche is Italy, okay.
Yeah, well, that's I speak the language. I got my family.
So you brought like the people
It's where my heart is.
From other countries to Italy.
Yeah, it don't matter where you're born; it pulls you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I right? It just pulls you. It just
that's why we said we're gonna make this a live stream, because we really, it's such an honor, and I miss you that I haven't seen. The last time I saw you, I was going through Atlantic City, and I was visiting Hard Rock there. It's my first time going through, and I was going upstairs to take my nephew and my buddy to the White House sub, and I ran into you. Remember?
Yeah, that's the last time I saw you live. Anyway.
Yeah. So I hear you like, are you like?
Where I got my big hug.
Yeah. So what are you doing now, man? What are you doing? I see you're gardening now, and you got the boat now. Like you're doing the Florida reel with the flamingos in the yard and shit like that, man.
No, there's no flamingos. There's a couple of iguanas.
Iguanas, huh?
So, look, like every great professional athlete and everybody else, 2 years ago, February 6th, Super Bowl Sunday, I walked out of the Hard Rock as a semi-retired from the business. And, I had a great business plan that, I was going to use a lot of my contacts and database and on, but to go into the travel industry, which I thought was going to be great, because, all I wanted to do today was like have more fun, and really, and that's really what it's all about. And I always used to have a lot of fun, even working in the joints. And so, I had a great plan until March 1st. I, opened up my home office. And at that point, by the 14th of March of 2020, the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
But the upside is that, 2 years, actually almost to the day, look, I started with my laptop, and I'm doing a Zoom call with you with my laptop. So I'm still in business.
That's so great. I read on your website about your travel agency that you're creating kind of personalized, unique experiences for people. And I was thinking, oh my God, because in the casino business, like as we were speaking earlier, you're creating like a lot of unique experiences, right? You definitely must have like a huge experience in this field, and you also like transferred this experience from the casino business to your travel, like how this relates.
It coincides together, and that's why I wanted to do travel, because it wasn't really a far reach from what I was doing in the industry. Booking business, booking giant business, planes, trains, and automobiles, pulling, trying to get things done where, I'm building memories and experiences, and that's what we did in the casino. All it is, but in the casino business, and even this business.
What's the difference, for example? In the casino business?
In the casino business, I think everyone, including the person that actually sweeping the floor, has a piece of that experience for a customer. Everyone is involved in having an experience. It takes everyone in the building to make one experience for a customer.
Correct.
But what's happening is that, and I don't want to, I don't want to be on here as sour grapes, is that a lot of the times, a lot of companies are getting away from it. They're going more analytical than they are with the old fashioned, creating those, they want to do special events, but the special events, they're cool. Super Bowl, we did. Bruce, you were with me, Miguel.
Yeah. Yeah, but
You know, I mean-
one thing, Henry, that we were talking about yesterday amongst ourselves here is we were trying to explain to Kasha what the gaming business was 20, 30 years ago, 40
Mhm.
years ago. It was entirely different before the corporations came on board, when the Las Vegas guys that started at the bottom, that were dealers and then came up and then went into marketing like we all did, were in control. They had a different idea, and the idea was to create a good experience for the customer, but it was a gambling experience. That has changed, turned around to different type of experiences. I'm not saying that is bad, but gambling has taken like almost a back seat to
Kind of as a part of
everything
the whole
else.
experience.
To
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else.
Mhm.
When it was before, it was gambling
main
was the
point.
main
Mhm.
attraction, and it has changed. It has changed. How
Yeah, but
how has
Miguel-
that will affect the business that you're doing? Are you still gonna be able to go into the junket market? I know that you have the ability to do it, and you have the other side of the travel business. So is that conflicting, or are they going to
No.
merge?
No. The opportunity rises, which some of it did when I first left, because people in the industry knew I had an extensive database or clients and so forth. I mean, I I think Bruce knows some of the biggest clients, that we cultivated at the Hard Rock. And because of what you're talking about, everything's changing, But you know what, though? The experience never changes. I mean, it doesn't matter if gaming gets taken, like gaming today is number 3 in Las Vegas, which is the mega
Correct.
of our industry, hotel revenue, food and beverage revenue, and now casino revenue, right? And it has really, though, Miguel, it has really nothing to do with the customer experience. It doesn't matter because, the front desk, it's still an experience getting there. The porter cashier, when you open, like I used to say when I spoke in front of all the new hires for 8 years at the casino. And, my thing is that, it's a simple business. Welcome to Hard Rock and thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
And it starts when somebody opens your door at the valet parking. But we learned that from Dynamite at the Golden Nugget,
Yeah.
So
back in the good old days, I mean, the Golden Nugget was our springboard when we were there back in the 80s, in the early 80s. Golden Nugget was the place, was as Steve used to call it, Steve Wynn, top of the heap. And we had Sinatra, we had Dean Martin, we had Lionel Richie, Diana Ross. I mean, we had all those entertainment superstars coming through a place that it was relatively small. We didn't have 5,000 rooms. We didn't have those mega resort properties like they do today in Las Vegas, but we were making a ton of money for the day. And we were number 1 casino in the world.
But what we did do, we built a great experience and everyone played into it.
Correct.
Everybody was customer centric in that building. And, and the thing, what happened back then, which I think that we don't allow it today as much, is that the culture, which is so important, right, allowed us to be who we were. It allowed us to have a personality. Yes. Allowed us to have, because not everybody is outgoing, or, like myself, but that's okay.
Man, there were so many F-bombs flowing through those pits. You piece of shit, you butt.
But I mean, it's not a church, but but it doesn't matter what part of what part of that building you were in. And I'm not just saying because Golden Knuckle, that's my, I call it the Harvard School of Gaming.
Absolutely.
It was just that, because it just allowed us to be who we were. Our personalities came out, and and it was kind of like I think the passion that we all 3 of us, kind of like got instilled in us about the business to be that professional. And that's why. But we'll circle back to why we want to wear a tie and why we want to wear a suit and why we want to wear a jacket when you go in, because when you're really doing that, you're not just representing Hard Rock, Golden Nugget, you're representing the industry.
Correct.
People would love to come and see that casino guy. We're part of the experience.
Yes.
When they used to see me, I'm the old casino guy walking through the joint. Hey, look, there's that old casino guy. You know what I mean? I'm like part of the, basically part of the structure, part of the experience. Because I represent that old casino because I got the suit, the tie, I'm dressed up.
Remember,
like
I'm professional. You see guys, Angelo Bianco, Tommy Florio, hey, where'd you get that suit? Oh, it was at Boys. I went down to Boys on Market Street, and such and such.
For us used to be Joe Di Palma, the old Italian dimension on Atlantic Avenue.
No.
Joe was a great guy. He was a crab stealer at the Golden Nugget.
I spent more on my shirt and tie than I did on my my electric bill, man. You know what
about Eleganza? Wait, I'll give you one. Eleganza Uomo.
Eleganza. Well, Gino, friend Gino and Giovanni.
Well, remember Hank McCullough was an old shift manager of mine. He didn't speak to anybody.
I know Hank.
But he spoke to me. He liked me, and I felt honored that man, Hank McCullough said hi to me today, whatever. But he said he pulled me to the side one time. He said, you look good, sport. You look. Keep that up. Keep it up. He says your clothes, they give you talking room. And I didn't know what he meant at first. And then I understood because customers would come to me as if I was the boss. But my boss was standing behind me with a seersucker suit on.
We're in a seer suit.
And so he said, that sport, that gives you talking room. And so I was trying to outdress the next guy and the other guy and stuff, And Miguel was sharp too, He was a little, he was more svelte. He had an ass back then. He doesn't have an ass anymore, but
that was an investment back then.
he looked good too,
But like I always say, like we try to emulate the people above us to see, hey, that guy's sharp, the guys from Vegas, like Bucky Howard, like look how sharp this guy is. We were just coming into the business, So I always felt like Bruce, people were looking at you, the young dealers coming, look at Bruce, man, look at sharp as sharp as as sharp as it could be. I want to emulate that. I want to see that professionalism, and that's really, I think, is a little bit, because now guys go to work. Like I always wore a tie, but so did Bruce, and and the little Hank. But what I'm saying is that that's professionalism. That's to me, it's respect for the business. It's respect actually for the customer, because I think put everything aside. Shift manager, vice president of player development. You're a businessman. You're conducting business every time you're on the floor. You want to look the part as a businessman more than, I know the casual, but you know what? You go to Win Vegas today, everybody has a suit and tie on.
Correct.
How come? Yes. You go to MGM, nobody has a tie on. Where would you rather, when you walk into a place, you go, wow, this place is for me.
Well, it all falls into the mentality.
I guess we all getting older.
Yeah. Steve Wynn was known for that. He was known for delivering the best of the best, the glitzy places, the best restaurants, the best casino. So he had an image that he wanted to convey to the customer and to everybody that will walk into the property. So before the corporations came in and started changing the stuff, that was the look. That was the look. That was.
But what really set the pace? The customers back then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Because the customers used to dress up big time. Remember the New York guys, Larry Corman.
Right.
But why you are saying used to? They used to. But why you are saying they used to? So how it's
they don't even dress any longer.
They don't do it anymore. Like the new customers now, they're the new generations is the young kids. They come in with a t-shirt. You can find a guy now coming in and jeans and a t-shirt betting $1 million. Betting $1 million in a casino. So you got to follow the trend.
This was very interesting for me what you were discussing about, because you, Henry, said that even a part of your image is kind of creating the unique experience for the customer, for the casino customer. And like, so what other elements are creating this this unique
The
experience?
thing was, Kasha, like say Resorts International, which was the first casino in Atlantic City, a customer could not get in the casino, a male, without a jacket, sports jacket or suit jacket. And you can rent one at the entrance. You can actually rent one to go inside. I didn't go in because I didn't own a jacket. So it was mystical. It was aspirational for me to be able to go in a place like that.
Yeah.
So it was like dream world. And then when I finally did have a jacket, was able to go in, it was magical. The dealers, the supervisors, all of them had their hair they had perms, they had big rings on, and the customers were elegant. And so it was different. It was a different time. It was a different time. It doesn't stay the same forever. I saw something on Facebook, and also our personalities. Henry, you mentioned, I saw something on Facebook. Miguel and I worked at Showboat, and I told these guys I was going to give them a plug. There was a group of guys that we all were dice dealers. Well, I was a supervisor back then, but it was like 6 or 7 of them. And they posted on Facebook today, and they got together. And they said, "Oh, this was a great man." And all of them had nicknames, you know, at the show. You had Big Daddy, you had Big Mike, Dangerous Dave, Dino the Cook, Fat Jack, Reckless Louie. You know, that's how it was. Everyone was a character back then. And we had a lot of fun. Like I said, I remember on the craps table, and just want to digress for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I was on the craps table dealing, and there was this really tiny old fragile old lady. She was trying to place her chips in the middle of the table in the cum area, and she could barely reach. So I went out there and I went to go help her. I'm a dealer. I says, "Hey, miss, let me get that for you." She was in New York, and she says, did I fucking ask you to fix my bed? so, but that's how it was. And we used to play off of that, you know, the customers. So the customers changed, you know, the sweet little old lady wasn't a sweet old lady. She had a
now when she's making two come bets with full odds.
but Henry, so let's go. I'm gonna ask you a question. I posted something on LinkedIn that, announcing that you were going to be on today, and I copied you. I don't know if you saw it, but the gentleman, because I had said, professional player development, and casino expert, blah blah blah. And he says, and his comment was, casino player development, or is that casino addiction, or is that casino customer loyalty program? And I said, no, we're going to touch base on that. Why don't you address that, would you please?
Yeah, I saw that. I think it's part of our job. It's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it our whole career. We know that we see people that actually, are betting their electric bill.
But break it down to player development. What did you do as a player, vice president of player development?
Player development is basicking business. Reaching out.
Miguel, you too. I know that's your thing.
Yeah. Getting clients to the property, going after some clients. Actually, a lot of them are referrals, as usual, right?
Mm-hmm.
From other clients, because gamblers stay with gamblers, drinkers stay with drinkers, golfers play golf. It's all the same. And once you get a reputation that you can get basically some things done, and you're reliable.
How did you get them? Break it down. How would you get them? If it wasn't a referral, how would you get them to come in? And what did you give them as a gift or reward to get their loyalty?
Well, the thing is that you have to be visible and available. I mean, that's what I would do. Tell any young player development person coming up, how did I get my? I want the truth, Henry. Tell me everything. The truth is that a lot of my great customers came.
Don't hold back.
No. So what's the objective of the player development? What's the objective of the player development?
Excuse me. What's the objective? Okay.
Yeah, of the player development.
The objective is that
to get their money.
to bring as much business to the property as possible. And I remember, not only Hard Rock, which Hard Rock is a novelty. It's a little bit different than any other casino I ever worked in. And I also worked at another one, which was called Foxwoods. When I opened that, actually I came a couple of months later. But the thing is that those type of properties, people just are kind of like drawn to it because it's the one in that jurisdiction that has gaming. Okay, so it's a little bit simpler to attract and also get referrals. Okay, in a competitive market, Las Vegas, let's say, okay, like in a competitive market, you really have to work at it. You really have to get on the phones. You really have to, and it's all based on special events. It's what is going on at that Super Bowl, the Kentucky Derby, the Masters, on and on. Just, the Final Four, they're the big events. Okay. Then you have the in-house events, the Rolex giveaway,
The
tournaments,
right.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
tournament, the big tournaments, the $500,000 blackjack, the $1 million blackjack tournaments. So they're the inside. So they're the ones that now, what's happening, like in Las Vegas, you have, and they're all friends of ours, and like Caesars, DJ Cott, Angelo Bianco, on and on, Susan Savage. I mean, that can go on, so all these different properties, they're all really going after that one certain whale, we call them, right? Certain player. And we all know who they are. The thing is, but Vegas is so unique because if I'm bringing a guy in, a client into Caesars, there's 5 different properties calling him, knowing that he's already there.
Yep. Trying to steal him and move him to their
give us a
property.
play. Not to steal them, but they also have relationships with them. It's just that Caesars has the $1 million blackjack tournament that weekend,
So would you buy business? So let me just break it down. Would you buy business?
I've never been a proponent of buying business. I think personally, I think it went a little bit sideways when we started doing deals. I had, speaking of that, Bruce,
that's what I want to hear you talk about.
Yeah,
Break it down, brother.
I had
that's what our listeners want to hear. They want to hear about this.
Well, you could ask Angelo Bianco and the boys in Vegas. I had a beer and burger summit at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we all spoke about it. And we spoke about, like these are all vice presidents of 5, 6 different high-end casinos in Las Vegas. And we spoke about where is this business going as far as like how much, leverage does a player have as far as getting, a 10%, 15% discounts. Now, I said, if all of us here sitting at the table, and we represent 7 major casinos, and we all say, there's no more discounts. No, you know what the premise was? There'll always be that one person giving the discount.
Yeah. We can all agree right here on the table that there's not going to be a discount. And then the next day, a guy says, well, I heard nobody's going to give a discount. Oh, no, that's not for you. That's not for you. You're always going to get your discount. So come and see me. You're always going to get your discount. Right. But going back to the question that the gentleman made to Bruce, when it comes to the addiction, I mean, we're not looking to get anybody addicted to gambling. There are people who need help, and they have problems, and most of the casinos have programs to address that and to assist them on that. So the player development, what we do is we locate the players, the person who wants to come and entertain themselves with gambling. Gambling is a form of entertainment. So we are going to give them the proper forum for them to come in. We're gonna make sure that they have a nice room, all the amenities, their suites, the show, the tickets to the shows, all that, so they can have a good environment and develop that customer. Hence, the player development name comes from. You're gonna develop that customer to bring him up in stages. You can find a player. I found a player one time on the floor at the Taj Mahal, and the guy was a $5,000 player. 3 years later, that man was playing $1 million and ended up, Yeah,
You developed them. Did you get him addicted? No, that was his form of entertainment.
No, it was his form.
Yeah,
Because when they're
exactly.
at the
And so how
table,
you
they're at the
detect-
table.
So
Look
how
what
you
happens when
detect
they're
like
at
if
the
somebody
table
is
with their
getting
friends.
addicted? I mean,
Okay,
Well,
I got one for you.
Go ahead.
There was a gentleman at the Hard Rock, and the one simple when they start asking for money around the casino.
Mhm.
Okay, they
That's
go
how you
That's a
know.
sign.
they're
That is a
looking for
sign.
money. They're looking for money. So I just happened to zero in on this one person. He's a nice guy, but I seen him betting, and then all of a sudden, he's looking actually to root somebody on. He becomes a cheerleader,
Mhm.
Mhm.
looking for.
what do you do in this case? I mean, like,
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I took him for a walk around the pool.
You didn't kill him, so they didn't kill him. The story, we understand what you're saying. Casa doesn't know, okay? She just, oh shit, she took him to the pool.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Henry. I'm sorry.
around the pool, and I explained to him it's not for you anymore.
Mhm.
yeah.
I had
I think
similar
it's
experiences.
I think it's very interesting topic to bring in on the table, because I
Of
think
course.
like many people for example, like me, also, I mean, and my other friends that I was telling about, hey, like I will do this podcast, they were asking me questions like about the darker side of the casino. This is exactly what you mentioned about the addiction and etc. For me, like, I'm surprised, and it's a great information, in fact, like that, casinos have such programs like for people that
The responsible
so
gaming.
it just
Responsible
kind of
gaming.
responsible gaming, exactly, that it's like everything is for people, I mean, and it's a
Absolutely.
way of entertainment, and of course, like
We have to
might
protect
get
the industry.
dangerous, but
Correct.
exactly,
And the client,
yes,
and the client.
it's in your own
And the client.
interest. Yeah,
I have personally, I had experiences in different places that I work in, mostly in South America, where some customers were going overboard, and
That's
I
amazing.
stopped them from playing. I had a particular customer that I actually banned him from coming back to the casino
Wow.
for a
Wow.
year first. And I told him, look, you can come back for a year. And the guy was really, really mad at me. I says, you can't do that. It's my money. I'm betting with my money. I says, but look, I'm looking at you not as a client now. I'm looking at you, number one, as a friend. Number two, as a human being. I don't want you to go through this. This is going to create many problems. This nose ball into something worse. I mean, you can lose your family. You can lose your friends. It's not just losing money. It's not just losing money at the table. You can lose a lot more than that. And he finally understood, and I banned him for a year. Then after a year, I let him back in, and I ended up banning him again because this guy had no control whatsoever over himself. So we have to protect them. And as Bruce says, we have to protect the industry. We have to protect the client, and we have to teach those new guys coming on now, which I know Henry did many times, and I did, and Bruce have, to look for the signs and address it the proper way. Bring it to, if you don't know what to do, bring it to your boss, bring it to their attention. Hey, look, I think this guy has a problem. And then you can work with them. And there are procedures in place to take, to bring this gentleman or this person to have a sit down and explain to them what we're trying to do. We're trying to help you. We're not trying to, we got to show them that we're just not here to take your money. We want you, this is a form of entertainment. We want you to be entertained, enjoy yourself with your friends. But at the same time, we're going to protect you. And it's very important that this gets out there.
Yeah. So to get back to this one gentleman, first of all, you're the last to know you have a problem. Okay. So you're the last to know. And trust me, I know, because I've been sober now for 24 years and in the business and everything else. I did 20 years drinking. I did 20 years without drinking. So I was the last to know. Trust me. My bartender he was like, you need to stop drinking. The bartender tells you,
Congratulations, Henry.
No, I didn't do. congratulate the guy upstairs. Anyway, so this one particular gentleman finally, like he was the last to know that he had the problem. And, I basically, can more or less explain how addiction works because of past experience. And I actually, like you, Miguel, I had to basically bar him from coming back, but not officially written. I just told him you're not allowed back in. He was almost like living in the bushes. Okay.
Wow.
He's been gamble free now 11 years. He calls me on his anniversary every year. He calls
That's a
me.
great story. That's a great story.
And that's really what we do. So we do recognize it. We definitely approach it. They're, like I said before, I'll repeat myself, they're the last to know they have a problem. A gambling addiction is like any other addiction, even food, alcohol, drug, whatever it is. It's something that it's mental and physical. I mean, it's an allergy. It's an allergy.
I would say it's a little worse than any other addiction because there is no way you're going to go through money doing cocaine or alcohol as you go through money. As you go through money, gambling.
Yes.
Gambling.
No,
well, Bruce, you can.
People have lost businesses.
I know, but you can snort a kilo of cocaine in one day. It costs $50,000. Let alone you can go to a casino and blow $50,000 in an hour.
Depends on what your bankroll is, but you're going to get some phone calls on this one, Miguel. I'm just going to tell you.
Correct.
The other side,
you're going to get some responses on that one. I'm just telling you.
And we'll debate it with them. We'll debate it.
The other side of addiction also is that a lot of the clients and so forth and so on are all cross addicted anyway.
Well, the thing is, the thing I thought about. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish here.
No, I'm saying there's just not one because of gaming. Okay, they're all cross addicted. Because I remember, because I remember back in the day when I was rocking and rolling, there was nothing I didn't like. I needed one more of everything. So, I needed one more.
Well, that's actually what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say is that when I saw that question, I thought about, that goes around with many things. There's people who are extreme sports. You have the guy that's parachuting, but that's not enough adrenaline rush for him anymore. Now he jumps out of the plane without a parachute and has a guy behind him to catch him, to go down to catch him and hand him a parachute while he's almost crashing. I'm sure they miss sometimes, but there's so many things that it goes.
I think that
back the good old days. I'm going to bring you back to the old Golden Nugget days again, and remember the house that like 6 or 7 guys lived there. It was Joe DePalma, Johnny Stritch. I mean, that house was notorious at the Golden Nugget because in that house there were weekly parties sometimes, and you had 100 people in this house partying like there was no end to it. We would get out at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to the party. And it was great. We were all friends. It was a great camaraderie there.
We called it team building.
Yes. We did Eric's bachelor party there in that house, and that was outstanding. I'll never forget that party.
You couldn't even put 2 words together, Henry.
Come on, Bruce. Now give me a break.
Kasha, you were trying to say.
I raised my hand. I'm Henry, but I already did that.
Kasha, what were you saying before Miguel rudely interrupted?
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you. So
anyway, as I was saying, go ahead, Kasha. I'm sorry.
Those male voices,
See what happens when you put the three of us together? We back 40 years. This is what it's about, having a little fun with the guys.
I don't think we have enough time to go through this today.
Come on, Cassie. Come on. We gotta go.
So what I tried to say is that in fact, like right now, nowadays, like many businesses are designed in this way, and in fact, like many businesses are kind of taking this way of creating services and products to be addictive in the way, because it's that's the goal. Like businesses, the goal of the business is just to make the customer to come back. So, and in fact, and stay the longest time they can. And in fact, like also social media, they are created in the same way. So kind of the moral question, if it's good or bad, the casino business and the industry itself, I mean, it's wrong, because in other industries, even social media is the same. I mean, it can be good and bad at the same time, depending.
We have a tool called theoretical win. Okay, theoretical win, theoretical loss, and that's our biggest tool. And the whole thing about the value in the theoretical win, which is the house advantage. The house advantage is all about, you can win, you could lose, but you're gonna lose more than you win, because you're gonna play in more in time. The theoretical and the house advantage kicks in.
Yeah, I read something like that. That the casino,
it's all about time.
The casino house, like there is a mathematical calculation that the casino always wins, right? Always
we
wins.
Create time. We manage time. We sell time. We don't sell furniture. We don't sell cars.
We sell an illusion.
We sell time and an experience, and the time is in our favor.
Right, but we also sell adrenaline. We sell adrenaline.
Adrenaline, the rush.
Yeah,
that's what we
the
sell.
rush.
We sell adrenaline, and you could win a bet. You just can't win bet.
And there's
there's a
5%.
So how do you calculate this? I mean,
nobody wins.
Yeah.
But it's your question. How do we take care of these customers, right? So my thing, that Bruce gave you the nuts and bolts of it, right? So my side of it is that we negotiate a comp, towards your play. To me, it's negotiable. That's how you build loyalty, So to me, this is my patent move. I told all the kids coming up, if they want a steak and you can't give them a steak, give them a hot dog. You know why? Because when they go home, they're not going to say, Henry comped me a hot dog. He gave me a comp.
He gave me dinner.
Yeah, he took care of me.
Dinner. He gave me
Okay,
dinner.
he's going to tell 10 people that. So, because he wants to boast about that he gets taken care of at the casino. So the thing is that you can negotiate. You don't, as long as you get to a point where you both are happy with the negotiation, as far as like a cup of coffee and a piece of key lime pie. You made a friend, No, I can't, the thing is that, you just can't put yourself in a position to give everybody a $500 dinner.
If
But
they
you
don't qualify for it,
definitely negotiate to where it both becomes a happy medium. And that's what I think the comp really is. Today, what they're doing as far as the analytical side with the theoretical and so forth and so on, what's happening today is that they're trying to turn it into a black and white decision where we are a total
discretionary.
We are a total gray business, and they're trying to make it a black and white. It's like a light switch off and on. There's no negotiating. They're missing the point of the negotiation, which is so important to build a relationship. Because now break down the player development. We are a one-on-one. Player development is one-on-one, touch business, relationship business, and network business. That's player development. And also, it's making a player bet. A $25 player bet $50. That's player development.
You got to bring him up in stages.
But what happens in our business, I come primarily from, I worked in player development a little bit, but I come from the operations.
Everybody's player development.
Right, but I come primarily from the operations side, which Miguel and Henry were initially when they first started as dealers, and then they went to the other side. They went to the black side. But anyway,
the dark side.
The dark side.
Wait a minute. Time out. See where they talk about. We are stone operations guys.
Right.
We have a better understanding 100%. Of a player mentality because we operate in that circumstances, and now we
know what they go through.
More efficient, and actually negotiate better.
That's my point.
Players want to speak about tape. What a player wants to talk about is the games, and we know every aspect.
And we know the game.
So, that's it. I'm done.
No, sit down and don't have a drink. Sit down and don't have a drink right now. All right.
But listen.
Wait.
Listen. listen to this.
Go
I
ahead.
remember when I first went to player development, and I was trying to figure out how to comp somebody, and I approach somebody who I admire in player development because I knew this guy had tons of players, and I went to him. Our recently departed, God rest his soul, Wolf Lichten, and Wolf told me,
Yes.
he brought come here with me. He brought me to the computer. Says, bring up a guy, any guy. And I brought the guy in the system, and he says, you see, if this guy asks you for dinner for two at Shahrazad, which was our best restaurant, what would be your answer? And I looked at him and says, he doesn't qualify. You're right. And then he told me the answer should be immediately when you look at the computer, yes or no. But when in doubt, always comp, because the guy could be borderline. So what Henry's saying, he's 100% correct. Now they want to make it down to like analytically, this guy doesn't qualify, this guy qualifies, and it's not like that. I mean,
it's not white and
you
black.
have two
right?
$100,000 customers, and you're going to take care of one of them more than the other. And there are many reasons for that. Maybe he brings more players with him, even if they're not of the same quality, but he brings you a 20,000 or 30,000.
That's not theoretical, right?
Yeah,
But-
you have to.
But
you have
the
to
thing about it, the
give him
other
some
side,
sort of reward for
the
that.
other side, though, Miguel, you have the abusers. You
Correct,
know, you had
correct.
abusers, you know, the compounds, which is another
Yeah.
business in itself. But both of you, Henry and Miguel, explain. And Henry, I was primarily operations when I came to Punta Cana, which, you know, that's where we are, by the way. We're in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Okay, I just want to remind you, Sonny.
I know.
Okay.
I love it.
but I came here.
Miami, baby.
and I came mostly from operations, and I became an operations director here. And so I had to spread my wings further and to dig deeper in some other areas I wasn't primarily used to it, and something that Miguel taught me. And that's one thing, you can never know everything. You know, I'm years old, you know, getting younger every day. And Miguel taught me about qualified bankrolls, which I never knew. And operations people don't really understand qualified bankrolls, because you would call me from Hollywood, say, Bruce, I got this guy in Orlando. He's coming down. Get him a couple tables. He's got a $4 million line, and he comes and he gets a $20,000 marker, and he plays for an hour and wants everything. He wants this. He wants Michelin service here, Michelin service there, and he left. And you call me back, Bruce, how'd my man do? I'll see you later, Henry. I gotta go. I'm busy. You know. So explain qualified bankrolls and how that works, Miguel and Henry, if you would.
Well, I mean, from my experience is that, I don't care what kind of credit line you have or what do you put in the cage. You can put $1 million in the cage, and the next day you still got $1 million in the cage and never drew a marker. It don't mean nothing. You have $1 million line, you want to talk about stuff like that. I mean, there was a gentleman one time, and I just told this story to a really $2 million credit line. He got a kick out of it. Is that this guy just didn't play, just didn't play up to it. But what he was doing was he was duking the butlers, and they filled this plane, this private jet, with about $40,000 of my wine. So once I realized what happened, and I interrogated the butlers. Took them for a walk around the pool, honey. What happened is
They
that
didn't come back.
No, I just charged his credit card.
Oh, yeah. Charge him.
$40,000.
You didn't play.
I'll never come back. I'll do this. I don't want you back. If
No.
that's who you are, if this is who you are, I mean, that's it's your decision. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want you back.
Yeah. See, we've all seen.
Who are you?
Seen those
Who are you?
guys.
You play $15,000 and you take $40,000 worth of wine because he had an extensive credit line.
It's not the line; it's what you play. And going to Bruce's point,
Break it down,
qualified
Miguel.
bankroll. The qualified bankroll to me is, let's say a guy comes in with $100,000. What makes him a true $100,000 player is he's got to give me 25,000 in Theo during his trip. So the theoretical is what he theoretically should lose
25%.
25% of his money. He should lose betting a minimum of 2%, his credit line, every hand for at least 4 hours a day for 3 days in a row. So he should play 12 hours. Give me 25,000 theoretical. If he does that, to me, he's a true $100,000 player. Even if he doesn't lose 1 cent.
Mm-hmm. Just a Theo.
And I will give him
The percentage.
every amenity and every comp he deserves, because he is a true $100,000
within the guideline, you know, and
within the
and
guidelines. So
that's-
of course,
that's-
what he deserves within the
And that's in
guidelines.
the trip, because there's now you
Yes.
now you have the ADT, the average daily theoretical. You
Correct.
have a trip, and
Correct.
you have lifetime. You know,
Yes.
so
Mhm.
You know, there's one other side to that, okay? The $100,000 player walks in and blows his money in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
His
Quick
theoretical
loss.
is not going to be there.
exactly.
He's not going to give you the deal, but he's a
No.
true $100,000.
Right. He blew 100,000.
Anybody
No.
that loses 80% of their bankroll, to me, he qualified his bankroll.
No, winner, it's either theoretical win-loss. So you
Or win-loss, correct.
200,000 is a guy that can win or lose 100,000.
Correct.
Okay, that's another side of it. And also, there's the quick hit. You know,
Mhm.
guys come in and lose money this fast. The theoretical just doesn't show it. So if
But
you're gonna
coming
go
to
by
that point,
theoretical,
Henry, today, there are places today that when that happens, they present the guy with a bill when he's leaving.
That's what I'm
He's
trying
leaving
to
the
tell you.
property.
This is what
He
I'm
said,
trying to
"Well,
tell you.
wait a minute. The guy
Yes.
lost 100,000. Yeah, but
No,
he didn't
it's
play.
theoretical.
He didn't give us theoretical. He does. He lost all his money.
Because you
How can he
don't
give you
know,
theoretical?
again, because it's all that player development, okay, we get back to, it's about knowing your customer.
Know your customer.
Mm.
Know your customer. Now, you know, today it's a whole different thing with the IRS and everybody know your customer. But as far as like us, you know, us on the advantage we have, I think the three of us, and they'll agree with me, is that we grew up on the rug.
Mhm.
So we're not bashful. We're right there with the customer. We have a customer mentality. We have a gambler's mentality. We understand the full big picture. And I think that's what sets us apart, especially when you go from table games into marketing. Okay. Even though nobody else likes you there because, you know,
Mhm. Yeah. There's
Now,
a bat-
now,
always a
now
battle.
you now,
You
now you
think-
become
you
something
think you know
different, and they
something.
says, "You're not
Like-
one of us anymore. You're
Yeah.
not one of us anymore."
Well, the thing is, the old story is too, the rule is from the old school is always try to find a way to say yes. And the
there is
other-
no.
Yeah, and then the other part is know how to say no if there is. you
How to
know.
say no.
Well, I can't, well, I'm not able to do this, but I'm able to do this, you know.
As Henry
But,
said, negotiate.
but
I can't give you a $500 steak dinner,
Mhm.
but I can give you
That's what Henry
I can
said.
give you
Hot
a
dog.
$75 dinner for
Mhm.
two.
Mhm.
You know, the $25 bottle of wine, $25 entree, and $25 entree. There are
Well, a
$75.
nice bottle of water.
yes.
Yeah.
And well, also, so what happens, and we're not here on this platform to say the old school was better. We're not saying, well,
No,
when
no.
the old 80, the 75, when the 95 Bears could beat the Bears or could beat the New England Patriots.
Is it
and all
Michael
that.
Jordan? Is it
Yeah.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
LeBron, yeah, we're not here to
Yeah.
do that. But we are here to say, as the industry grew rapidly and expanded rapidly from one state, Nevada, to New Jersey, 2 states, and now how many states there are,
38.
people were advancing quickly, upward mobility from a dealer to now pit boss with only 2 months as a supervisor, and then it's couple of months or a year as a supervisor. Now you're a pit manager, and now you're a shift manager. Before that time, before nowadays, with Nevada, somebody had to die, literally, or retire for you to
For
move
you to
up.
get that into that job.
So what happened is, Casa, the business became bastardized, you know, where it became very, very shallow, and people didn't have the experience to
Enough experience
to
to
really
yeah.
understand these things that Henry are talking about, because Henry is old as shit, you know, and he knows,
Well, I
he
sat
forgot.
I sat box on the rope game.
Yeah, he's got more time in the toilet than I have on the dice table in the casino or something, you know what I mean? But Respectfully,
You know,
respectfully, Henry.
you know, when
I respect my elders, so.
yeah, so what Bruce is getting to is that, you know, when they shot dice for the Jesus Christ robe, I was a supervisor on the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
The dice were made of stones.
Yeah, that's
But
what, no, actually, no, you're wrong. First,
Bones,
called
bones.
bones because they were from an
Bones.
ankle of a sheep.
See how old he is? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I just
But,
learned something else.
but this brings up another point about the business is that, you know, like you said, like, you know, people just, you know, getting promoted real quick, but you have to be an historian of any profession that you're in. You know, professional football players, professional anything. You have to know the history of your business. And not only that, you know, you have to be a student of the game. And that's what I think, like the three of us, you know, accommodated that in our careers. You know, not only just becoming, you know, supervisors and becoming, but we also took the time to learn the backstories of the backstories of the business, the history of the business, how it started. If you ask today, 10 people, 10 or 20, what was the first casino and how did Las Vegas actually start? Nobody would know.
They wouldn't know that there were casinos in prisons. They have casinos in prisons called the bullpen casinos, where
Right.
whoever had the biggest bankroll got to run the games in Nevada.
Had to run the game.
You know,
Well, I started shooting dice against the bricks where I grew up
Yeah.
back in the day.
where did you grow up, Henry? You were
North,
from Newark.
I'm a product of Newark, New Jersey,
My
and proud
family.
of it.
Yes.
Brick City, baby.
Remember,
You know how we do with me and Shaq.
my aunt lived on Clinton Avenue. Clinton.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, gambling was part of, you could say DNA, because, you know, in an inner city, it's part of life.
Hmm.
You know,
And
so-
like Henry, yeah, I saw, I calculated like, you know, the years your experience.
Oh, stop! Wait! Whoa! Hey! Don't go there.
Go ahead. I'm an open book.
I'm gonna mute. I'm hitting mute.
Not like Bruce.
I'm-
Not like Bruce.
I'm
You know, when he said
But I
I'm this
calculated
old,
this.
you know, not me. I'm 67 and I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
I'm not asking
And I'm
about the
looking good.
age.
Is that all? I'm gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
I'm
We're like
thinking about
wine.
the
We're like
age.
wine.
Look at
The
the
older the
glasses and
better.
stuff, man. Look at you.
The
Are
older
you
the
really?
better.
Are you really? You're 67, Henry?
67, ready to go.
God damn,
I'm running downhill without brakes.
You have like you have plastic slip covers on your couches and shit in your house.
Ah,
Well, so like, you know, like
I'm
I'm
not
not
coming
asking about the age. I'm asking
years.
because I calculated the experience.
years.
It's like, wow, it's impressive. Like 43, I calculated them
Well,
like from
what?
LinkedIn.
79.
43.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's just Henry.
exactly.
That's just Henry.
43.
that's just him.
I thought you
Yeah,
calculated
like,
together.
together.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got over 120 years worth of experience.
Right here.
on the panel.
Right
But-
here.
Yeah, but you know, like so.
And
Bruce
Like,
had
what
they-
made you?
still,
What made
still
you?
looking
To,
good.
what made you to start this? You know, to be in this business, and like, what made you to keep going? I mean, what's interesting, particularly in this?
I had nowhere
For
else
you.
to go, man. I was like,
Yeah, how it started for you? I mean, like,
I got lucky. You know, somebody gave me a job,
Yeah.
and I'll never forget.
Yeah.
It was
mm,
Sam Hogan
Uh-huh.
got me started. I dropped out of school. You know, my college. I actually got probably for playing poker. And I opened up a business in Newark, New Jersey. I had a cafe on the corner. And, you know, we did some things, which, you know, I could probably talk about, but we'll
What,
do
you
that
got some mob stories? What's going on?
No.
You're from
it's
Sicily and
behind the
shit?
scenes, like it's behind the
from
scenes.
Sicily and everything. Come on.
We could
I know
discuss
you're
that
the
in
mom.
overtime. We could discuss that in overtime, you know, but, you know, so I had a cafe in Newark, and I opened it up on my birthday, 21st birthday. And friends of mine, you know, we used to go down Tuesdays and gamble at resorts. And then a friend of mine wanted to go to work for Bally. So we went up Kentucky Avenue, never forget. And then we got to talk to this one gentleman. He had a suit and tie on. I thought he was a stiff. And, you know, seriously, I mean, I'm a city guy, you know. His suit wasn't that good. That's why I said that. So, and I love, you know, so anyway. So we got talking. Yeah, no.
You have better style. Yeah.
No, he didn't have it. He didn't have it. So basically, he's the one who actually started me off, because
Okay.
what happened was that he sent me a letter. He was a little bit impressed that I shot dice on the corner, and he knew I knew a little bit about gambling, And look, the guy's a Vegas. He was basically a Vegas guy that actually been around the business a long time. So he could definitely, like we all three of us today, can spot, personalities and so forth and so on. So he spotted that with me. And he sent me a nice letter. And he said, put the application in this envelope. It went right to him. He sent me a letter, 2-page letter. Back then, they paid for your school and your license, and but you have to go through the program as far as being accepted into the school, take a test. Then you have to actually be able to go through the course, and then also be hired. And then after 6 months, they reimburse you.
Right.
For
get the license too. Get your license.
And the license, right? You need to be
What license?
The casino
Like,
license, the gaming license from the
in
state.
order to work.
Oh.
That was my biggest.
It was a book. It was about 40-some pages of an application.
So
Yeah.
That's how I started. So he sent me a beautiful letter, with all that. And I told my partner, I said, look, I'm going to take a shot with this guy. And because I thought he was a stiff, he became the senior vice president of casino operations at Bally's. And I still today, thanks Sam Hogan for getting me into the business. And once I got there,
what was the most important, interesting, for you, which was,
the most, well, I tell you a quick story that when I first, one night I walked up to this crap game. I was working the front game and it's a real high-end game. And it was kind of like slowing down a little bit, but it was a Saturday night in the summer. Remember those days? I mean, the summer was just unbelievable.
Oh, it was
At
crazy.
night, in the evening,
So, and, we had
Swing
like
shift.
we had a $2,500 max, which was probably the highest in the city at the time at Bally's. But anyway, I looked up and I just saw everything moving. The women, the action, the bells, and everything was just like, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I just love this.
This is my world. This is my world. Yeah.
I fell in love with the adrenaline. I fell in love with the action, with really the whole scene was like the coolest thing. And then being fortunate enough to be recruited by that same person that actually taught me in school and brought me over to Golden Nugget, which really opened my experience to casinos, because that became something like where you would see on TV.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
So it was something special about that little place that, when you have Sinatra in the showroom, it kind of like brings you back to like, okay, I saw this on TV, So it captures you if you wanted to, and it did for me. And I think it did for Miguel and Bruce. And it took us to a level that we wanted to be really good at it. Back then, you had to be good because it was fast and furious.
A lot of competition because there were only two states. One state, then two states.
Yeah, but the action
to be a dealer is like being in Hollywood. Like you was like being an actor in the movies.
Yeah,
in Hollywood. That's how special. And if you were with a group of people that you're somebody's friends or family. And they say, hi, this is Henry. Hi, this is Miguel or Bruce. Hey, what will you do? Well, I'm a dealer in the casino. You're a dealer? Next thing you have crowds of people around you asking you questions about the casino, So, but yeah, it's special. You had to be good. I got the best hands out of the three of us right now.
Well, you definitely got better than me. I'm stale. I got to go to the
I still practice. I always got chips close to me.
Remember the old line?
Well, you should be good because you're gardening now, so you should be real good.
Well, you remember the old line? You got to go to the schedule, and your hands just came in.
Yes. Hey, they tap me on the shoulder. Hey, Bruce, they want you up in scheduling. Yeah. Your hands just arrived from UPS. Oh my God.
You have to be proficient. See, the thing when we talk about hands, right? You have to be proficient with your hands in the checks. So it's a hand-eye coordination with your hands and paying, but you have to pay, and you have to be very silent when you pay.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you got to be silent.
Clean.
You got to hit the payout like a butterfly with sore feet.
Ooh, like this.
Ooh.
With the
Like that one?
with the demitache pinky sticking out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
the demitache.
And the thing is that you want to be proficient not only for yourself, for the other dealers next to you, because they're going to talk about you.
Just healthy competition.
Yes, it was always competitive. We were very competitive back
Very
in the day.
competitive.
And also,
Does it change somehow, like the
Well-
recruitment process and like the people that you are looking for to
Not competitive.
work? Yeah,
No.
it's
I
not
don't wanna-
competitive
No.
anymore.
I don't
So,
want to talk
like-
bad about the recent
No.
You
new
mean like
but
people have
Don't
like
talk bad.
less experience, they are not so qualified, and they get accepted, right? You mean this or?
not only the competitiveness,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
the reason why we needed really to be, especially good at our craft
Mm.
is because there's two reasons for me, and I think that the boys will agree with me. We didn't want to hear the floor man keep correcting us or the box
Mm.
man, right? Because then, I mean, they would torture you. You can't do that today. And two, you don't want to hear the customer going, "Where'd you get this kid?"
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now,
Get him over here.
so let me tell you,
And that's what happened. You get totally embarrassed in front of all the. Am I right, Miguel?
Yeah.
Now you got to know, I don't look like most of the people in the casino back in the day. So I caught a lot of hell. Get that out of here. And I was so bad, especially when I first got on the dice table, I would call myself the N-word. Get this nigga out of here. They tap me on the shoulder. And they got me out of here.
No, but
And they said, because when you're out there, you're buried. When I first got in there, and with Lipkin and I went to in dice, and David Lipkin, we all were in dice school together. But when I would go back to school at 4:00 in the morning. At 4:30, I get off at work at 4 in the morning. I go to the school at 4:30, and I practice.
Right.
I wanted to be better than him, and him.
Yeah.
So they would tap me from a game that was a game that wasn't much action
To bring you to one with
the
action.
game that where all the action was where somebody was like me, like I used to
That
be.
was the proud moment. That was the proudest
tap
moment.
them on the shoulder, so I
Go
would
over there.
So I would tap in, and I see the table full of chips, and I would, okay, what do you got? Yeah, what you got? Yeah, what you got? What you got? Right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, you always had to be a step ahead of the players. That's when you know you're good. You know what they're going to do way before they even know what they're going to do. The
Mhm.
presses and so forth and so on. So that's when you know you're there.
And you're
Takes
hustling
time.
tips. You're hustling tips.
Oh, I'll give you a
Yeah.
great tip story. I'll give you a great tip
Okay,
story.
because we're running out of time, Henry, but we're gonna go. We
Nah,
gotta get a
we're
part
going
two.
overtime.
Okay.
Yeah, we got time. We got
Yeah,
time.
okay.
We got
We
time.
got time.
Okay, let me put my hanky
Going
back in.
overtime,
Then.
baby.
Shit.
Listen to this. So I'm on the stick line, and
Go ahead.
the two guys next to me, I own them, right? I own them. And then when I'm on base, the guy, right here next to me on base, I own him. I got my arm around him and dealing like one-handed, like I'm in. How's it going? Everything good? The family, right? But the best was, back then, remember the floor people we had back then? They were just like a bunch of they're very hard on us, which that's why we became that good.
They kick your
So
feet.
I got the stick like this, and I'm looking. The guy's got a $10 bet for me, right? I got a $10 bet for me, and I'm looking at the bet, because now that everybody's like, they're paying now. I'm looking at the bet. The guy never. So the foreman comes over the game. He goes, "You better not ask him for a bet." So the player says to me, "What's the matter with that guy?" I says, "You believe this guy? He thinks I'm going to ask you because you didn't put down odds for my bet." He thinks I'm going to ask you. He said,
So right there, you told him to
You
put
told
it
him.
down.
Henry, I forgot. I'm sorry. And he put down.
Slick as shit. You should have been in jail for that one, man. That was-
You believe this guy? He thinks I'm going to ask you for shoes. Remember
Okay,
we-
okay.
The shoes.
Break it down, Casa. Now we got to translate it, okay, for Casa. And because we're not just translating it for her, we're translating it for our listeners who don't understand either. So there is a bet on the dice table, on the craps table, which is dice.
You, Bruce, understood that I'm not laughing, right? So
Yes.
I'm
No,
sorry.
because I know.
Thank
No,
you.
that's okay. That is what you're doing exactly what you're supposed to. That's what this platform is all about. Checksplay.com, Checksplay podcast.
Yeah.
This is what it's for everybody. That's why Casa is part of our team. We have a wonderful team. We're very.
I like that.
Yeah. So
I like you too, Henry.
well, get your ticket to the Canary Islands of Valencia. But anyway, so the craps table has an area called the pass line. And so the player puts a bet there. Once there is a number established, based on that number winning, they will get paid even money.
Yeah.
You know, $1 for $1, well, maybe $10 for $10. But if they put money behind it, they would be paid an additional amount, maybe 2 to 1. So every $10, they'll get paid 20 when it wins. So the player put down a bet as a tip for Henry on the pass line also.
Next to his bet.
Next to his bet, but it didn't have odds on his bet to make more money.
Okay.
So the supervisor recognized that Henry's looking at it with no.
Henry was looking to get the
And
odds.
he didn't.
And we call it no shoes. It didn't have shoes. So,
Didn't have shoes on
and
it.
so when the supervisor said something, the customer said to Henry, he says, "Hey, what's wrong with that person?" Henry says, "Oh, he thought I was going to ask you to put odds down." And which made the customer realize he didn't put odds for Henry. He says, I forgot, let me put the odds down. That was a soft way of subliminally telling him to put some freaking
down.
To put something, because
Put the shoes down.
Because it was illegal for us to ask for tips. You know, you get fired.
I understand.
But it's
Company policy.
it's called the soft
The
hustle.
soft hustle, not the hard hustle.
Then
It's
there's
called
the hard hustle when you just ask the guy, listen, give me $5.
That's
So-
Vegas.
Where are the
so-
odds? Where are the odds?
That's Vegas.
So
Yeah.
because Bruce said that there was a supervisor, and you, Henry, what was your role there?
Me, I was a dealer at the time.
Oh, okay.
The person
I
on the
was
table.
dealing. I was dealing.
Yeah.
And look at him now. Look at him now.
Yeah.
Look at him. So look at the picture.
You know, I'm always a dealer. I always got the apron in
Always.
my back pocket.
I'm still
That's
a
the way
dealer.
I was taught. That's
Always,
the way we were.
always.
All
I'm
three of
still
us were
dealer.
taught.
But if you had to go deal right now, you had to put those little hose and brakes down and learn how to get your hands back.
Oh my God. Well, I you know what though, Bruce? I would get 2 stacks and get after it.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you would.
You know what I
And
mean?
in a few hours,
A
we'll
dice
be back
dealer's-
at it.
A dice
But
dealer's
I'm
hands.
actually looking for a box job, which is almost obsolete.
You know, that's
Yeah,
what
no,
Bucky
they
was.
don't-
That's what
yeah.
Bucky Howard was doing before he passed.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I went
saw
to
him.
visit him. I went to visit him.
I
Did
saw
you
him
go
at the
down?
I saw him at the
Yeah.
Four Queens. He
Yeah,
grabbed me.
with Glenn.
2015, I'm at a Super Bowl party with one of my
Yeah.
best friends, from ESPN, Drew Felios. We're at a Super Bowl party at Binion's with Theo and
Yeah.
these other guys,
Yeah, deal.
and
Yeah.
Glenn and all
Yeah.
of us. So we just get there at halftime. Our plane landed, so we make the halftime. It's just New England and New England and Seattle, and we're there. And all of a sudden, somebody grabs me from the back, choking me, and they say, "Wait, what's going on?" I turn around and I'm I got a buzz, and I turn around and says, "What are you doing? I thought you were dead." Because I thought Bucky had passed already,
Oh my
and he
God.
said he was on break. He was sitting box, over at the Four Queens and Binions, but he's a great guy.
It would be nice. You would do it like part-time, Henry, a couple of days a week.
No, I'm actually looking to run a joint, to be honest with you.
Hey,
I want to for sure pass the box job. I think I just want to run a couple of joints.
Okay, we're working
That
on
would
the
be
field.
good.
We're
That
working
would
on the
be
field.
good.
We're working on the field.
yeah.
I'll
Hey,
bring it.
let's get a
Listen,
team
I will
in. The old
bring it.
guys, the old
I
guys.
will
will-
bring it.
Yeah.
Well, the
we
thing
could-
is,
we
you
could
also,
definitely do it.
you have to be a rounder in the business, and I've been very fortunate to have a lot of different experience as far as food and beverage and, operations, marketing, player development, I've done it all. I mean, I even was a waiter at the Atlantic City Convention Center. So we know convention business. I mean, so, the thing is, and it's fascinating that out of necessity, because I had 4 children actually, that out of necessity, you do things like bartend on the weekend, bartend on Sunday night, your night off, just to get a couple extra. But all of that, and it's fascinating how all of that, even like, because I did me and Drew Bello, we did the convention center in Atlantic City. We did breakfast, and we used to work till 4 and do breakfast and lunch. All of that all came together. I worked at Temple Bar and Caesars.
At Caesars, yeah. I remember that. I was a Caesars
Yeah.
fan.
So, but then when I opened up Hard Rock in 2004, all of that past experience came all together.
Mhm.
And, what was fascinating when I walked into like Council Oak Steakhouse, and I knew setups. I knew, I knew the whole game of a gourmet restaurant. And they were like, where's this guy come? Who's he to say, but the thing is,
there is the synergy effect,
well, it's all about all the
past
different,
experience.
like I said, all your experiences come together, in our business, but you have to really know a little bit about everything. And I'm going to end it with this. Bob Stevens was our shift manager at the Golden Nugget.
Yeah.
I was on break. I was a box man. I was watching the crap game. And this is really true to form, Henry Pisano. I go on break. Bob Stevens, who was my teacher and was my mentor at the time, took me for a walk. And 20 minutes, I'm on my break, and I go, and I'm telling them, I'm in the business maybe a year and a half. I'm going, I could run this joint. That's how passionate I was about it. And he's going, you don't know shit. I go, what do you mean? I know. Takes me over to blackjack. Goes, what are they doing? I said, I know how to play blackjack. I played it, He goes, no. What are the procedures? What to look for? How about if a car counter's on there? What's the floor man doing? Took me over to roulette, same thing. Took me over to baccarat, same thing. Took me over to the cage. Do you know the procedures? Do you know what's going? Can you spot this? Can you spot that?
And
Turn.
what would you say is the most important skill in this industry?
The most important what?
Skill. Yeah.
Skill? Well, all of it. You have to be around.
All of it, I know. Yeah,
you know what I mean? So the thing is that you have to know the big picture of how everything operates, especially when you get to our level, kind of like, because, you're the ultimate professional now. You're no more, and if you're in player development, you're the ultimate businessman. So, because my thing was this, you want a host, I'll get you a host. I'm a businessman. Okay. I treat it like a business. The skill level comes with time. You can't buy experience.
You only acquire it with time.
I was very fortunate to be mentored by Charlie Meyerson at the Golden Nugget. And, when he took me off the casino floor and worked with Sinatra and everybody else, so I had a really, as a young person in the business, it was like something out of a movie. But the thing is that what he was telling me, I would never figured it out. But that experience, I couldn't get until you go through. And there's another one. You don't know this business until you've been blown out of it a few times. And that was one of the things that I was taught early on by Bob Stevens. Really, because at the end of the day, who your friends and who the people that are still, because you left this job, not because you wanted to, and the people that are still around you, who they are. And that's an important lesson in this business.
That's why we say, Henry, I had to get dressed up, and we were saying, we have royalty coming. This Henry Pisano.
There's no royalty.
Oh no, man, no. When I say
kid from Jersey trying to make a day's pay.
I understand, but you take your roses and flowers when we try to give them to you, man, because you certainly deserve them, and you're like sunshine in the rainy day, man. Just to be hanging out with you today, man, and. Miguel and I were excited, and when we told Casa about you, she was very excited, just because she couldn't believe that you were real.
I still have so many questions,
Well,
we got to bring Henry back. We got to
bring him back. And Steve Carroll will be bringing him back.
Do it again. I promise I'll have a different sport jacket. I got a couple
Part two.
They're all in more.
I want to see all the.
I got plenty of stuff to go around.
Yeah, Miguel was telling Casa he's got like 70 suits and 100 pairs of shoes in the closet, but they're from the 1970s. You know what I mean? But
but they still look good. They're coming back in style.
They're coming back in style.
They're coming back in style.
Shit, I got 4 and they look good.
Miguel, if he did one thing in this whole program, came out with the best lines. I gotta give it to
you. But Henry, you got to come back. Are there any? We want to. What are you? Are there any websites? Or you have Pisano Destinations? What's your website so we can let people know so they can visit? What is it again? I'm sorry.
PisanoDestinations.com, and we are under reconstruction. This is my third try at putting up a really great website, but I actually went out and got professional help this time, you know, because as you guys know now that you started your own business, like, you know, you do everything, you know.
We do it all, yeah.
Yeah, you do it all. You know, we had departments back, you know, when we were inside
Yes.
the casino. Now you're every department. So, you know, I'm not good at everything. I trust me, okay, there, sweetie. I'm, you know, I know what I don't know. I'm very good at some things, but I'm very not good at a lot of things, you know.
That's
so
why
I need help.
that's why we have a team, and we really go out of our way to make each other look good. And that's our mantra, you know. And so we want to make sure you come back. Do you have any? Can people contact you through email or anything too if they want to get?
Info at pisanodestinations.com.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Great.
And
Great.
you know, I just want to say one
it's a
thing.
great day, man.
I want to say one thing. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
for
no,
having
no.
me on.
Thank you.
Let me tell you.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Is because, you know, I love you. The 2 years has been great.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
We
Likewise,
all
Henry.
came up together. You know,
Likewise. I'm hugging you right now.
I love it.
Let's hug. Let's hug.
Group hug. Group hug.
I'm serious.
So, you know, seriously though, I mean, I really, you know, and I'm so appreciative. You know, I'm the second guy on your pod. I want to wish you the best of luck. I'll be listening
Thank
every
you.
Friday for you guys. There's nothing like, you know, going over all this, you know, great stuff that, you know, it's just, we're always going to have a hand in this business. We're never going to get away from it, you know.
That is
As
true.
much as, you know, me retiring, which it wasn't really a retirement, you guys going off, you know, doing your own thing. I'm so proud of that, you know, to see both the years that what you guys are doing, and this podcast is well needed, deserved, and you know, and you know, not and you're doing it the right way, you know, the right content, you know. So I'm really I'm honored to be on here. Thanks again, guys. I love you. Great meeting you. Gosh, you know, it's just so nice to meet you.
Great meeting to you too. Yeah,
Been such
thank
a
you very
pleasure,
much.
and I hope that I brought something to the table today.
Something.
I
No.
love-
You didn't bring
love-
enough. So that's why we got to
Yeah,
bring you back because you still got a lot more
I'm a
to
little
give.
short. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I have a
No.
I have a
Not
ton
short.
of things.
That is, it's not enough.
Not
of
enough
what
time.
you got,
Not
because you
enough
got
time.
plenty more.
But
So
what I loved
we
about
got to
it,
bring you
Bruce,
back.
and-
We got to
and,
bring
you know,
you back.
like, you know, I love, and we have fun with it.
Yeah.
So that
do.
I think is
We
more
do.
important than anything else.
That's what we want. And the thing about it, Henry, like we said last week, Steve Carroll was our first guest, and we weren't supposed to actually launch. We would have been not launching until another couple of weeks, and we had some hard debates about it, you know, because this is not, we don't have this, we don't have that. Why are you smiling? I'm not pointing that at.
Just do it, man.
I'm not looking at you, Casa, when I said that. So anyway.
I know you do. I know you
No,
do.
so we were at it that says, no, we're gonna do this. We gotta do it. Well, let's get Steve, whatever. But he set the bar so high. Who can we have on second? It was like,
Let's get Henry.
Henry.
Well, I'm so different than Steve. I mean,
Then
Steve,
Steve, yeah.
And I don't want
a
Steve.
phenomenal guy. He's, you know, he's been all over the world.
Oh my God, Steve. But
He's that
Steve,
guy.
I don't want
Yeah.
Steve to think because we dressed up for you, we didn't think the same for him. But because it was just at the last minute, so we didn't have.
Plus Steve was only voice.
Yes.
This one is going to be video.
Yeah.
And
So,
invoice, but
you know,
but,
look, Steve is a phenomenal casino
Ooh,
guy.
my God.
He's a great guy and a
You
good
know,
friend. Good
I
friend.
worked with him at Foxwoods.
oh my God,
Always been a big fan. You know, super smart.
more
super-
royalty.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
you know, he's a
Blue blood.
worldwide.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just national. You know,
You know,
No,
you're
but-
there.
but listen, I mean, who's your next guest? You have one yet?
It's a surprise. It's a surprise.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta
We got a
check.
few lineup, but
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
you
Yeah,
got to
well-
tune in next week.
No, we'll be
I'm in
promoting
every
it.
week.
We'll
I'm
be-
in.
Yeah.
We'll be teasing it
I
this week.
also do right now that you mentioned every Friday. What time are you go on Fridays?
What?
No, because we're not doing it live. We just post it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So anyway, I'm on Clubhouse Casino 101, 10
Mhm.
o'clock every Friday.
Okay.
10 a.m.
Perfect.
10
From the
a.m.
beginning, 10 a.m. New York
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time.
No,
And it's just like this. It's from the beginning.
Say it one more time, please.
Say it one more
Oh,
time so they can get it.
Clubhouse, it's Mr. Casino 101, 10 a.m. every Friday.
Okay.
Great.
And we,
We'll
same
be-
thing, we talk about, basically all of this,
Okay.
from the beginning.
What do
You know,
you
from-
what do you wear, Henry, when you do that?
Well, thank God that's,
I'm just kidding.
That's the most important question.
Henry, we gotta go, brother.
I wear my
love you.
muscle shirt. I wear the muscle shirt, okay?
All right.
That's what you want to hear, right, Bruce?
Yeah.
You want me to do a couple of push-ups,
I
put the
know.
knee on, you know what I mean?
With a rake in your hand, I know. Come on.
Yeah, with a cigarette pack rolled up. And,
Hey, love you,
shoulder.
love you, Henry. I don't have anything in my glass.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Henry.
Henry.
I'll
Thank
get some
you.
water.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great
Have a
time.
great, have
Tell-
a great,
having you.
great weekend.
Tell the
Great
missus
weekend for
we
you,
said
man.
You
hello, man.
too. Thank you.
All right, man. See you later,
Thank you
Henry.
for being with us, brother.
See you.
What a
Wow.
wonderful
was great.
conversation with Henry.
Unbelievable.
Henry has always been like that. I mean, it's nothing new on him. That's always been his personality, outgoing. I remember, like going every time I went on break and I happened to go by his table and he was on the stick at a dice table was a show. He was an entertainer. He wasn't just a dealer. He made it so nice and entertaining that what he said is true. Henry was one of the guys that brought in one of the highest percentage of tips in there. And we used to roll in with the money back in the Golden Nugget day. So for me, it was a great pleasure to have him and reminisce and listen
Well,
to his stories.
Definitely. Well, it was visible, like from his experience and like how passionate he is also about this.
Yeah.
We told
So
you. We told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is
was
something you're going to
anything
notice
but-
with,
And this whole energy, like we
Yeah.
are here,
It was
like
nothing less than what we were explaining, because like I said, he is a high mark, and it was
Yeah.
always such a pleasure. Actually, when I hadn't seen him for years, and I was working in Vegas as a casino manager, and I got a call from Howard Dreiser, and Lenny. Lenny had given me a call, and Howard, that they were opening something up in Tampa, wanted me to come and help them because that was one of my specialties, opening new properties. And so they were going to have a job fair at a location in Las Vegas, right across from the Hard Rock, and I forget the name of it. But anyway, I walk in, and one of the first people I see was Henry, and I hadn't seen him and Freddie Harb and some other guys for 10 years, 15 years. He said, "Oh, yo, Bruce, what you doing?" We were hugging and everything. So it was so amazing.
he like also like
Yeah.
his personality is like it's exactly how it should be for this business, I would say.
but back in those days, Kasia, it was a competition. Who would look better? I mean, and especially in the dice pits. In the dice pits, there were, like everybody had to look good. The colorful ties, the beautiful suit, the gray shoes. I remember.
I never wore
I
gray
got to a
shoes. Never
point.
wore gray shoes.
I got to a point that I only
drew the
wore
line.
Bally shoes. And Bruce, I told you I'm selling my house in New Jersey, and I was cleaning up and going through. I found Bally shoes that I had. Like when we were at the castle, and it says, they would look good. You know what I did? I put them all in boxes, sent them here, and I gave them all away.
Yeah, I remember you told me.
And their shoes are over 30
I
years
saw the
old.
I saw the mechanic
They
the
look good
other the mechanic the other day. He had ballet shoes.
At the deli, I hooked them up with beautiful shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm well liked at the deli.
Always.
Yeah.
But so, what did you
It
think,
was
Casa? It was great, huh?
It was great, yes. I was not surprised because I was kind of expecting this, but like when I listened to Henry, like I noticed his great personality also, like
Yes.
very much like
Henry's great. He's
and
real.
energy, like
It's not.
yes,
It's no BS. It's all real.
It's
Yeah.
real. Yes,
He's
he brings
always
a
been
lot
like that. He didn't do anything. He didn't say anything that he would have said back 40 years ago when we met. I met Henry back in 1980 when we worked at the Golden Nugget, Yeah, there were many things we couldn't touch, so we definitely have to bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
There's a lot of-
definitely
a lot of
want to
knowledge
hear
there.
more about this, player development. I think it's like
Well, we have
very,
others.
very
There's
interesting.
so many areas to dive into.
Yeah.
You'll see. But listen, guys, we're going to have to go. It was a great show.
Yeah,
And,
it was
Yep.
great,
I
great.
can't wait for the next one, and I hope our listeners are enjoying our content. And then on the as we expand our media, social media, and connections on Spotify and iTunes and all of these things, people can subscribe, hit the like button, and they can also give us their feedback. And just like we have feedback on LinkedIn, and we discussed it a little just today, we want to continue that. We want to grow and get better. This is new for us as well. We're growing, and thank everybody for listening, and we hope that you enjoy it.
Yeah,
So
thank you for listening, and share it with your friends, and they will like
Thank you
it.
for listening. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. We need you to make this happen. And if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us and checksplay.com. Send us a message there, and we'll be more than happy to answer and take your
Yes,
suggestions.
we will answer those questions on our next episodes, right?
I'm Miguel Mora.
Kasia Gołębiewska.
Okay, somebody has a bell when they said their name. That's awesome.
That was her. That was her. That was her bell.
right.
Her bell.
Take care, and let's do it. We're gonna do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's
we're gonna do it.
Let's
We wanna
do
keep
it.
on
Let's do
doing
it. You want to do it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We should do it. I think we should do it.
Okay.
Henry Pisano, a top casino expert and amazing personality, was guest of our today's episode at the Cheques Play podcast. Currently, Henry is a travel advisor and he owns a travel agency, Pisano Destinations, where he is creating world-class travel experiences. Just you must visit his website, pisanodestinations.com, where you will find more information and you can plan and book your dream travel. Do not hesitate to contact him at info@pisanodestinations.com for your once-in-a-lifetime experience. Also, you can hear Henry speaking more about casino topics every Friday at 10 a.m. at Clubhouse Radio FM 101 on Mr. Casino. We hope you like this great episode, so hit the like button, share it with your friends and subscribe. We are already available on Spotify with our Cheques Play podcast.